If you haven't heard, there's a super fun series going around YouTube right now. It started with creator Paula and it's making its way through loads of amazing creators. But now it's my turn. We need to unbox Moriah Elizabeth plushies and paint them in a complete makeover. I've been challenged by Rose for Quinn Crafts and they'll be deciding what we turn the plushie into. Then at the end, we'll challenge the next creator in the series. Okay, let's go find a plushie. Oh, we're here. I haven't been to a toy store in like a decade. Oh, these are cool. I've never actually seen these in real life. Ah, I think we've made it. Oof, that is big. That might be a bit too big. There's little ones. These are series 3. That's cupcakes. That'll be a bit restricting. These are cute. Desserts. This might be harder than I thought. We need to customize it and we need options. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for this one. Has some really cute options that we can change up. But I've also got the dessert one. It's a little bit more restricting. We're either gonna use one of these or do something with both. I don't know. We're back! I have never tried these before. I can't wait. Which one should we do? I think we'll start with this one because this one here is a little bit risky. It is already kind of themed, so don't know if we'll be able to work with it, but I wanted to get 2 options. First up is the Color Splash Series 3. So looking at these, I think the only slightly awkward one could be the pumpkin. You might be able to add some fabric and turn it into a dress or something. I think we might be able to work with any of these. Oh, it's pink. Oh, it's really soft. It's going to be ruined with the paint, but it's really soft right now. Georgie, yeah, we know Georgie. I think that would have been the hardest. Strawberry. Okay, let's see what the second one is. I think we'll only be doing one. For the second one, if we don't use it, might arrange to give it away to one of you. I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. We need to add a completely different theme on top of this. So I think the hardest one would be that one because the donut. Ready? Ooh, is that another little strawberry? Honestly, I think I'm gonna stick this in the Daily Doodle diary. Maybe draw on it too. In here, this would be cute. We've got Cupie. Georgie is also here. Eustace. Shelley's lovely colors, but we're gonna be painting on it anyway. We've got these 2. Okay, why don't we head to Rose and find out the challenge?
Hi, Chantelle. So, you're about to embark on this plushie makeover journey with the rest of us, and I get to give you your challenge. I'll try not to go too hard on you. I've got it. Since I know you like to paint movie scenes, how about you theme your plushie after your favorite movie? It could be a character, a scene, or just the overall vibe. Go full blockbuster on it. As a little side plot, since pink is my favorite color, you need to work pink in somehow. That shouldn't be a problem, right? I can't wait to see what cinematic masterpiece you create.
We've got a new sketchbook to try out. This one was kindly sent by a hoo-hoo. It looks the same on both sides, but it doesn't say that it's bleed-proof paper or come with a transfer sheet. So we're reaching for this messy thing and giving it a quick clean because we need to come up with the sketch for Cupie. Yes, we're painting Cupie and we are turning Cupie into, drumroll please, Rapunzel. And yes, I know we have actually painted Rapunzel a few times already. We painted Rapunzel for the Scene series, and we created a piece recently inspired by Rapunzel for the Create This book. But there is a good reason for this. You're gonna have to trust me with this one, okay? Rapunzel from Tangled has a really cool character design, so we need to turn Cupie into Rapunzel. She needs to be put into the world, into Corona to turn into a princess, and there's lots of components to include. But how did we get to this? Well, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of wanted to do strawberry. I do prefer strawberry, but Cupie fits Rapunzel perfectly. Firstly, there is a cone on the head and we can tie things to it, kind of. So I'm thinking that we can tie a braid with fabric around the cone and it might just stay up. We've also got the dress. Hopefully we'll just be able to add some fabric, paint on top, and somehow pop the dress on Cupid. We'll have to make the dress a little bit more pink to include the pink elements that Rose asked for. And then the biggest, most perfect thing for Rapunzel, Cupid has a strawberry on their head. You saw we cut off all the extra bits because we are turning that little strawberry into Pascal, the cute little chameleon. That's really just gonna look like a head. Well, okay, we might be able to tie it together some way. But you know what? This paper looks weird. Like, look how weird the markers look when they're dry. The yellow kind of looks gross. But hopefully we'll be able to make blonde for this braid later on. Dried fine though, and this is bleed proof. Honestly, I'm in shock. Like, it worked. The label is white, but it didn't say. So that's a fun development. We've got the sketch. We're gonna be gluing fabric onto Cupid as Rapunzel. Disclaimer, I do not know how to sew, and I've never done anything like this before, so I don't know how this is gonna go. Maybe the sketch is a little bit optimistic here. We'll see. The team have said that regular markers probably won't work, so we need fabric medium to mix with paint. Dun 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 dun. Please. No, okay. Well, I hope they have it. Okay, what do we got? What does it look like? Well, it is fabric. Kind of. Wait, they're a bit bumpy. They all are. I think this is right. Yeah, it says to mix it with acrylic, so I think this is good. We have fabric from the thrift shop, cotton wool balls. I also picked up a fabric glue, and we've got super glue. We've got a lot to do. So we're starting with the hardest part first. We need to somehow add a braid to Cupid. Like, we've got a ton of fabric. I'm actually wrapping it twice because if we're stuffing cotton wool balls inside of this, I don't want it to break. I don't want it to rip. The hairbands aren't working, so I think we need a bigger one. We're gonna have to go over the strawberry and then cut a hole. Because yes, the cone is kind of like a triangle, and obviously we're adding glue, but it would be nice if it could kind of stay up on its own. If we can work with the cone on the head, then the braid is less likely to fall off, because we are really relying on gravity and glue at this point. I have never painted on fabric. I've never worked on anything soft before. Okay, I've never done a plushie makeover. I've never done anything with a soft item. The only 3D makeovers I've ever done are painting a marker stand, which is like wood. And I also painted a little box from a collab with the Cassie projects, but that was wood as well. So we are winging this. And I think I've stuffed the braids a little bit too thick. Like, it needs to be chunky, but this braid is like bigger than Cupid. It is huge. I guess it is entangled as well though. Like, it is big. So we're gonna go with that. Next up, we need a dress. So we're just cutting that to size and sticking it down. Probably didn't need to do this step, but I thought it would be a good base when we come to painting, because at least then it'll be the right shape. As for the dress, it has pleats, so you're gonna have to bear with me on this. I'm adding glue, pinching, and then clipping it in place. Is this gonna work? Who knows? But the dress does in fact have pleats. We are leaving Cupid's face because we still want it to look like her, just dressed up. And that's another day to dry. Moment of truth. Did this work? Yes and no. It did keep the fabric in place. There are kind of pleats. Also stuffing some cotton wool in because Cupid needs to be a little bit bigger. You know what though? This braid is still too long. We're gonna cut it, make it even shorter, and then glue it back together. It's time, it's painting day. I've never used fabric medium before. It looks like we just mix it with paint. And I think we're gonna start with the hair. Blonde is one of the hardest colors to mix because blonde isn't really one color. There are so many different shades. Some are more yellow, some are more silver, some are more brown, some are more red leaning. Maybe this looks close enough. I don't know, we're gonna have to try it. I don't know how opaque this is gonna be with the medium medium. Never used it before. And I didn't even know this medium existed, okay? I thought I'd have to buy fabric paint. And considering this is the only time they were painting on fabric, that would have been a bit of a waste. But the medium held up pretty well. Like, it hasn't cracked in the slightest. And I think acrylic markers would have. So I'm really glad that we took this approach. As for Kewpie's hair, obviously we need the iconic blonde braid. And we're gonna have to pop flowers in. But we do want this to look like Kewpie. So we're not giving her a bleach blonde look right from the roots. We're gonna give her a little bit of a root shadow, okay? A little bit balayage, a little bit ombre. It needs to look like Kewpie. And I didn't think this through. Well, that somehow needs to dry. And again, we're mixing a questionable blonde. I really want to get this hair right before we move on. Mostly because the hair takes up the entire plushie right now. There is no way to paint anything else and the hair not be in the way, so we're gonna need it complete and dry. This is the most awkward thing I've ever painted. Not only is it a plait with creases and folds, it's also huge. It's technically attached, but I don't know by how much. And it's very long. So it's getting a little bit awkward to paint. And it's looking yellow. Okay, we need to make this blend. We need a brown. This is the only one I've got, but it's already looking much closer than anything I've mixed. It just needs a little bit of yellow. And it's not looking too bad for a match, right? Kewpie needs a root shadow. She needs a cute little plait. So we somehow need to connect this weird braid that kind of looks like a sock to her head. Well, the braid is looking less yellow, less blonde, but it blends a little bit better with Kewpie. Problem is, we can't do anything else right now. We need to clip it. We need to keep going. We need to turn Kewpie into Rapunzel. But this isn't exactly what I had in mind. Well, anyway, now we can work on the dress. This purple shouldn't be too difficult to mix, right? This is me. We have lots of lovely pinks, and I think this is gonna work. It's a little bit difficult to paint, but we're getting there. And even though this idea kind of fits perfectly for Kewpie, my first idea was actually Finding Nemo. But since Strawberry is standing up, if I was gonna turn them into Finding Nemo, it would probably look like Boo in the monster suit and just be a little bit weird. I did consider Monsters Inc., but we literally just painted Monsters Inc. for the Create This Book Worldwide collab. I guess we've also painted Finding Nemo too for the Scene series. But what can I say? My favorite movies are Disney movies. And this one fits perfectly for Kewpie, if we can make it work. Next up, we've got Pascal. The strawberry blob has to be a head and a body, so we need to make it look not creepy. Well, definitely less creepy than the sketch. You can see there's already more pink in the dress. There's not really a lot I can do about the shape of the dress. It dried how it dried, but we're working with it. You can see what it is. The patterns are pretty close, even if the colors aren't completely spot on. And you would not believe at this point how many layers I've added to this hair. I just keep tweaking it, trying to get it the right color. Rapunzel's hair is very light, it's very yellow, but we do want it to look like it's also Kewpie. Problem is, the braid is quite lumpy on top and we don't want it to look like poop. So we're adding more yellow. And originally I planned to add lace on this dress, but looking at it now, there is no way that I can do that. That would be a disaster. So we're gonna add yellow and pretend that it's lace. We've got to go with it, okay? If you can't tell, we are winging this, but we do need to get Pascal right and not super creepy. I don't know if that's possible. He has really big eyes. And on this ball, that is like the entire body. If this wasn't fabric, I would be trying to use clay right now, adding a head to the body of Pascal, but I don't think that would work, right? Right? There's no way that clay would stick to fabric. Right now, we're also painting the flowers on. The very ambitious idea I had about sticking little pieces of fabric on was crazy. We are not doing that. This is easier, okay? It's already a huge project. And I don't want little flowers to fall off. everywhere. Well, it's messy and it needs to dry before we can go ahead and varnish it. I picked up this outdoor varnish to add to the mirror we painted that's kind of cracking. So hopefully this is gonna work. Hopefully it's gonna be nice and hardy and it will last in the years to come. I want to say a quick thank you to my Patreons. You guys are the best. Just you wait. You do not want to miss the reveal. And just like that, the plushie makeover is complete. But who's next in this crazy series? It's the lovely Cassie from the Cassie Project. And I've given her a challenge, but I can only give you a hint. E-I-E-I-O. I mean, of course Cassie's gonna smash it. But now it's time for the reveal.